We talked today about technology stocks leading the big sell-off that we had on Wall Street. Apple, top of the screen, down by 5% today, dragging the Dow lower. Big picture, these Silicon Valley giants gearing up for a new battle, this time with a Congress taken over on the House side by the Democrats, preparing to take control of the House and maybe take aim at big tech. David McCabe joins us, Axios technology reporter, and good to see you, David. It's not only the Democrats, because you have many Republicans who have already been skeptical of big tech. You have a president who is as well. So are we looking now at the real possibility of regulation? And we've talked about it for a long time, but concrete regulation in this new Congress. Is that what people are telling you?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And absolutely, we are in a difficult period for big tech in Washington, and it will get harder next year because in California, there's a privacy regulation that goes into effect in 2020, which has put the companies in the position of actually asking Congress to regulate them, to preempt that state law and do something on privacy. So privacy absolutely is the watchword. But the counterpoint to that right now is that we don't know how certain committees are going to shake out certain key panels. And as you know, it's hard to ever predict anything with deep certainty. In Congress, there are a lot of conflicting priorities. But certainly right now, what people are saying is that if there's action on an issue, it will probably be privacy.
Let me put a quote up on the screen from Congressman Frank Pallone out of the great state of New Jersey. She mentioned some committees still to be worked out, but Congressman Pallone may be moving into a key spot, would be the chairman, quite possibly, of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. And here's what he said recently. He says, "We plan to put the consumer first by pushing policies that protect net neutrality, promote public safety, and provide meaningful privacy and data security protections that are seriously lacking today." So he's one of these big players you're talking about, right, David?
Exactly, and that shows how much attention is being paid to this privacy data collection issue after Cambridge Analytica, as well as other major data breaches and data lapses. And you mentioned net neutrality. That's another issue, and I think what that gets at is just how many outstanding issues there are with the tech platforms, with the internet providers like AT&T, Verizon. As we go into this next Congress, there's just a lot on the table, and I think we're looking to see how sort of that comes together.
What about actually breaking up some of these big companies, antitrust issues that the president's been asked about and he's talked about in some interviews?
Right, and the president has indicated that he's looking at some of these issues, that the administration is. Antitrust action is always a hard lift for a lot of reasons. One is the legal standard, which has to do with how you evaluate harm, is particularly hard to apply to free services, right? Because there's not a way to calculate a price harm to consumer for Facebook, because Facebook doesn't cost any money. And so there are a lot of complex issues. I would say there's more movement around antitrust than we've seen in a long time, particularly with regards to the tech giants in Europe. They've actually taken action. But here in the U.S., that's a pretty slow-moving area of policy. So what people are telling us is that change in that area, while it's certainly in the air, might not materialize. If it does, in a matter of months, it's more like a years-long policy debate.
All right, tough day for some other reasons for technology stocks today. But David McCabe wrote about these big-picture issues for Axios. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.